Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch, presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That is Mike. You can follow us on Twitter at the handle seen above. Mine is Kyle_Nusser. Mike is YanksFan37. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Kyle? I'm hanging in there. Just loving these Yanks bats, man. They're just hitting every night, it seems like. However, it seems like if you're not stacking the Cubs, you're not winning any money as of late, and that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I'm mad at that.
Last night was the opposite of a chalk night too. I think everything defied logic. If you won a GPP, you kind of just picking names you thought looked cool. Tyler Collins. Yeah, it was a bunch of no-name guys.
The pitchers in this morning's slate, man. Gosh. Rourke was chalk. Had I known that, I wouldn't have pitched him, but I did. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Who else got blown up? There was...
Glasnow had a good... What did he have a good game, didn't he?
Yeah, Glasnow had one of the best games on the slate. He might have been the best pitcher on the slate. I can't remember. It's between him and Marquez.
Sure, it was Lester, though. Lester had a shutout going.
Oh, true. That now, yeah, Lester now.
Yep, Lester was the guy to have, it seems like. And then last night, if you said, if you had Collins and Bergman and Jared Hoying, you did well.
What's up, Dewey? Liam is in the chat.
What's up, guys? Yeah, it was definitely a tilting sort of evening last night, I would imagine. Definitely puts GPP baseball DFS in perspective. But that's what it is.
Names you thought looked cool. That's great.
Yeah, maybe we'll take that strategy today, man.
Damn, man, where do we go on? I think, starting off on this first game, it's going to be risky to play either of the two pitchers, that's for sure. Someone is getting ejected. I can tell you that. There's going to be a fight. It's all over. If you've been paying attention at all, it's been pretty much reported.
All over social media.
Yeah, that the fight's going to happen, so.
I don't know, man. I watched it so many times, and it looked like immediately after he flipped the bat, he looked at it and was like, damn it, why did I do that? And then he tried to talk to Suzuki at the plate and almost gestured like it was my bad,
Yeah, but you had the hit by pitch, so Freeman's on the DL now. I think he's out 10 weeks with a fractured wrist. You already know that there's a lot of tempers flaring. It's the getaway game. So,
these guys have played a home and away as well.
Yep.
I agree. I definitely have some tensions here. I'm not going to base my picks on someone getting thrown out. I don't think that's smart, especially on a 5-game slate, to just completely dismiss both of these pitchers for that reason. But we still got a hitter's park, especially the left-handed side. Teheran is pretty much showing his true colors in this hitter's park, being that he's played his whole career in Turner Field, which is a pitcher's park.
Kevin Pillar just got suspended for 2 games for yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Trying to get ahead of that.
I still think there's going to be a fight that breaks out. You're going to see suspensions, and it is what it is.
Again, I don't know if I'm going to bet my take that into consideration when I'm doing my bets tonight. I think if it happens, it happens. But
see, for me, it's just as easy to not play the pitchers. I mean, that's kind of where I go. The batters are the batters. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to predict which batter gets hit. I wouldn't be surprised if Batista gets beaned for the bat flip. So there's that. But I'm not playing Stroman and I'm not playing Teheran. Tell you that much.
Fair enough. I mean, again, I'm not going to bring that into my decision. To me, I think I'm still going to look at these pitchers like nothing happened.
That's fair.
On this 5-game slate. And like I was saying, lefties in this park, it's a huge hitter's park, so you have to take that in consideration. I almost can take that more into consideration when choosing to not want to play these guys than a possible suspension or ejection. Again, you talk about Teheran, pitched his whole career in Turner Field, and now he's in Sun Trust or Sun Life or whatever the heck it's called, and you're seeing it, man. The balls are flying out. So I like Smoke again today. Dude's been red hot. I don't see how this slows down, and it's another great spot for him in this park. So I like that call. Stroman at $11,000 on DraftKings. Over $11,000 is just a lot of money. That's just because it's a 5-game slate. Ground ball pitcher with K upside, usually the guys we go for. So I could see why you would want to play Stroman today.
Yeah, I'm not on Stroman at all. But I'm on Batista. I'm on Smoke. I got a 2-man right there. I was on Pilar. Obviously not anymore. But I would play Morales and Smoke on DK.
Yeah, I like it. Man, this lineup without Freddie Freeman, though, is intriguing. Obviously, Matt Kemp is playing well this season. They moved Markakis up. I have Stroman as a top 3 pitcher on this slate in my player pool.
Okay. That's fair. Dewey thinks Stroman will be massive chalk as the only ace available. You know what, man? I am okay with that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think he's way overpriced for the ownership he's going to get. And again, you're going to get a lot of ownership. You have 5 pitchers on this slate with heavy ownership today. It's a short slate.
Yeah. So we'll see what this lineup looks like when it comes out. New York and Kansas City. This game does have some rain concern, which worries me from the pitchers. I like Montgomery today. I was not thinking about rostering any Kansas City bats, but I was looking at Montgomery as a possible pitcher. But with the rain concern, it kind of puts me off of it.
Yeah, it's something that's intriguing. Obviously, we were just looking at this before we jumped on. It's seemingly like a 50-50 chance that this game is going to have rain involved in it. Does not make me think this game is going to be postponed by looking at the radar, but I could see it looks very scattered in a sense, and I could see they're having rain being a concern in this game for sure. Montgomery, I think, is another top pitcher on this slate. Just says something about this slate, in my opinion. I mean, Montgomery's been okay. He's carrying an xFIP and an ERA in the 4s. Kind of has some K upside, I would say. On this slate, too, he's probably one of the top K pitchers, but I think it more has to do with the lineup he's facing in Kansas City. But it's tough, again, with the rain and everything else. I mean, he hasn't had 20 DraftKings points at ever this season, or ever, I guess.
Keith says the local forecast, he's in KC, says rain is after game time. So that's exactly the reason. That's exactly what I saw too. And it's the reason I'm worried about any of the pitchers from this game from the standpoint of
they start and delay.
Yep, and then your pitchers are done.
They start and delay, and yep. So I agree with you there. I think you got to recognize what the Yanks have been doing. I think consistently putting up high run totals over the last couple of weeks. Denny Duffy, however, 6 out of 8 starts this year have gone for a quality start. Strangely enough, the 2 that weren't were both against the White Sox. He has quality starts against the Orioles, the Indians, at Texas, at Houston. He's had some good performances. Obviously, most notably, his velocity is down, so his K per 9 is also down, making him less of a DFS option, but he's still, limiting the base runners in a sense.
Well, here's what worries me about Duffy is his home runs per 9 are super low this year. 0.3 per 9 on the year. But he has high enough fly ball rate, 37%, over average hard contact, and no K upside right now. So
right.
Against the
Yankees,
Yankees
tough to play him in DFS.
I think the Yankees can exploit that fly ball and hard contact percentage. And, I was looking at Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Starlin Castro, Matt Holliday.
Yeah, don't sleep on Didi Gregorius either. He led the league in batting average as a left-handed batter versus left-handed pitching. So he's better versus lefties, and there's not much to like at shortstop today.
Yo, if Stroman is chalk and he gets ejected, you can almost guarantee a cashing night if your pitcher does anything good.
It's true.
So that's a huge GPP narrative. Like I said, this is the chatter itself is going to make the slate interesting from a standpoint of Stroman being the ace on the slate.
No, I totally understand that. Again, it's easy to pay for him too, even though he is super overpriced.
No, absolutely. Key says velocity's down on Duffy because they're trying to get him to pitch deeper into games. It's just not working.
Yeah, he's getting a lot more fly balls. So, yeah, I think Castro Judge is just an elite 2-man. I wish they would put Sanchez behind Judge instead of Headley. That would be awesome. Hicks, I imagine him probably not in this lineup against the lefty. I think you probably see Gardner and Ellsbury back.
We'll see. A punt catcher, if you want it, is whatever his name is. The catcher.
Is Higgy back up?
I do believe so.
I don't think so, man. I would imagine, yeah, because they have Romine as a backup.
That's true with Sanchez back. Just kidding. Then never mind. I completely forgot about Sanchez. I blanked.
Yeah, I feel bad for Higgy, man. He had like a good 30 plate appearances to get that first hit, and he didn't get it. Got sent back. I hope he gets another shot at it because he's gonna hate himself forever if he doesn't. He had a good week of playing. Sucks.
All right, what about this A's Red Sox game? So Hector Velasquez, I believe this is his first ever major league start, correct?
Yes, this is his major league debut. Did a little research on Hector. Yeah,
I'm pulling up his minor league numbers right now.
He's a Mexican League player. The Mexican League is considered AAA, but it's not. They're not. The teams aren't affiliated with major league clubs. The Red Sox signed him out of the league back in February, and he's been pitching in AAA. So he's only made, I think, 5 starts in the minor leagues, the minor leagues affiliated with the Red Sox. Not in the Mexican League.
I was going to say,
he spent 7 years in the Mexican League.
Yep. I was just going to say that, yeah. 5 starts with the Red Sox affiliate, but 7 since 2010 in the Mexican League. Career ERA of 3.67. 125 started games overall in his career. Let's see his strikeout numbers. It's
not too impressive from what I've read.
No, he's averaging about 1 every 1 1/3 innings right now.
Yeah, it's a K percentage around just under 20%, and that's AAA K percentage. So he'd probably take a little bit of a dip there. But what's intriguing to me is both of these call-ups on the slate are ground ball pitchers. Every year in his professional career, he's had a positive ground ball to fly ball ratio, including a 2.39 in the Mexican League last season and over 1.2 in AAA this year. So, ground ball pitcher gets to play in a pitcher's park against a team that does strike out a bit. So, it's intriguing play today.
Yeah. We'll kind of discuss between him and the Seattle guy at the end, but this is definitely, like you said, an interesting play. On DK, is it worth a shot taking both of these guys and paying up for
thought about it.
Every single bat you want?
I did it, and I still had $2K left over to spend, and I got every single bat that I wanted, and yeah, I mean, there is that call again. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see the same upside in Velasquez that I do in the Seattle pitcher. What's his name? I know it, I can't pronounce his last name. Gaviglio? Gaviglio, there you go.
See, I thought the opposite. From looking at the K numbers and the hard contact rate, it seemed like there was more upside in the matchup with Oakland and Velasquez. And I don't know. They're very similar plays, man. I really don't think you can pick one or the other as far as who has better upside.
I just like the upside from Gaviglio. He's already, extremely small sample size, but he has dominated AAA. Just struck out 4 in his 2 innings of work the last time he was out, so he's getting the spot start. And I think Chicago's a worse offense than Oakland.
Yeah, that's debatable, obviously. Again, I think they're both bad. I think they're both strikeout prone. I think both these pitchers are ground ball guys that are making a spot start. I have heard that uh, Hector, however, in the minors was limited in a sense. Like he was pitching on some sort of limit. Whether that be a pitch count or an innings limit, I don't know. But there is that to be concerned about, I think. Obviously, that'll probably translate over to the majors.
What are your thoughts on Sonny Gray? Right at career average in terms of fly balls, so he's keeping the ball relatively on the ground in a pitcher's park. No strikeout upside. I think in this game, his strikeout numbers are not only down this year, but you're pairing that with the Red Sox, who aren't going to strike out a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason to play Sonny Gray. But do we stack against him? I think Mookie's obviously an elite one-off, but other than that, I don't know if I really want to target him.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and forth on this. Where I wanted to stack today, I think the Red Sox were definitely in play, just based on these 3 starts he's had this season. Came up his first start, gave him 3 bombs, and he's been kind of back to where it's been. If you look at his ground ball to fly ball ratio of the last 2 games, it's very positive. It's almost over 3, I think, close to 3. So, he's pitching in a pitcher's park. It's just not a good matchup to throw him. I just don't know that I landed on Boston as my stack today. Let's put it that way.
I'm not on a Boston stack.
Can maybe one-off some plays here. I think obviously you look at the handedness with Benintendi, and who's actually been really cold. So I don't know if I go Benintendi. I think he's slumping right now. But
I see Mookie Betts.
There's definitely some good. Yeah, if you can pay up to Mookie Betts, I could see it.
Yeah, that's the one play I like from that game, and that's the one play I found myself looking at. Dylan Covey and Sam Gaviglio, as we mentioned. So I think Seattle's just as much of a pitcher's park, maybe a little less so. But those numbers could be construed with the offense that Seattle has obviously had the past couple years. Dylan Covey is a reverse splits guy. Gives it up to right-handers a ton. So all of a sudden, I'm all over Nelson Cruz. Taylor Motter is an interesting play. He's mad cheap too.
Yeah, he's kind of dropped off a little bit, Motter, as far as his overall offensive performance. He is cheap. He's second base and shortstop eligible on DraftKings as well. I feel like his eligibility has changed so much in the past couple of weeks.
He's on outfield and handle.
Yeah, I see him at first base on DraftKings, outfield, shortstop. It's all over the diamond. So he's been kind of filling a void for this Seattle team. I like a Seattle stack today. I am on Seager. I can get behind Gamble and Cruz. Covey went out and struck out 9 Padres last start, but that's not really changing. Yeah, it's not really moving the needle for me, man. I think this guy has given up 2 home runs in each of his last 3 starts, and a total of, 9 homers in his 6 starts this year. I think the stack is in order, man, against him.
Yep. I think it says more about the Padres than it does Dylan Covey.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a confidence boost going to Seattle and striking out some Padres. Everybody's got to have that once in a while, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're in the league for.
So who would you stack on Seattle? I find myself on Cruz. I still think I can play Seager, especially if you're paying down at pitcher. You can afford any bat you want. So I think Seager's in play. Valencia, Segura's in play if you want to get away from the Dodgers' chalkiness. And Corey Seager.
Yeah, he's a good pivot off Seager. I mean, Segura's batting almost 360 on the year, obviously. He doesn't really fit a one-off type play, but, I mean, he has scored well. I think he's scored points in every single game in his last 10 games. So he gets on base, man. He really does. He's a prototypical leadoff hitter. They have Gamble in the 2. I can see you just going Segura, Gamble, Cruz, Seager. I like that 4.
Yep. For what it's worth, Mike, this Yankees lineup is actually exactly as is here. It was confirmed.
Nice.
So Hicks is batting today.
So who was batting behind Hicks at 9?
Carter.
Did they? Carter. Okay. Yeah, I really wish they would put Hicks in the 2-hole and put Sanchez behind Judge, but I like Hicks today. Hicks and Gamble are the same price. I think obviously Hicks is a better one-off. Gamble fits a stack.
Yeah.
So I get behind it. Again, I like Castro and Judge. I like some Yanks. I'm not in love with that. Same with the whole Boston thing. Like, it makes sense on this 5-game slate to go the Yanks and Boston, but I think Seattle and the Dodgers, I think, stand out as the 2 best stacks of the day.
Miami, Los Angeles, where, again, I think Los Angeles is going to be chalky today, attacking Volquez. Definitely much worse versus lefties, gives up 10% more fly balls, 10% harder contact. So obviously you got Peterson, Seager. I think Turner is perfectly fine. Bellinger. I find myself actually, because I think Bellinger will continue to be chalk with obviously the Dodgers stack, I find myself playing Smoke over Bellinger today.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. Although, I don't know how you can pick anybody else than Grandal right now, especially against a righty. He's just on fire. Especially if he's going to have super high ownership on a 5-game slate. It's almost like, what's the opportunity cost of
Fading him?
Fading him, you know? So I can see if you don't want to stack the Dodgers to get away from the chalk, but I feel like you still have to have him just because catcher position today is just poop. Ozuna, Stanton, elite 2-man. Right, Ryu. They said they want to do a 6-man rotation. I don't buy it. I think he's playing for a spot, man. I really think he is. He's been poor. He's 1-5 with an ERA over 5 this year.
He's been bad.
So I think he's playing for a spot. I think you can go after him. I like Stanton and Ozuna. It's a 2-man, but I don't think I'm alone with that one. I think that'll have some ownership.
I like Ozuna and Stanton as well. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I think that's really all I go with on the Miami side is those two. But
yeah, you can think about Yelich. He's hitting the ball all over the field. It's definitely the contrarian stack of the day, in my opinion. Miami.
Mm-hmm. Jose asked Grandal and Utley 2-man stack.
Utley.
I know. Yeah.
It's a cringeworthy name. It is, man. I don't. It's tough. I think if I'm stacking the Dodgers, it's Bellinger, Grandal, and Seager. Maybe a Jock Peterson. You know.
Yeah.
Would you rather play? Hold on, let me look at FanDuel pricing. Would you rather play Nelson Cruz or Giancarlo Stanton as a one-off?
As a one-off, I think Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, I think so too. You save a little bit of money on DraftKings. I think as the Seattle stack though, I think you have to have Cruz in it. I like Seager and Cruz as that 2-man, and then I like how you put it with Segura as the pivot, really, off the other Seager.
Yeah. Looks like James Loney is going to be the replacement for Freddie Freeman, for what it's worth.
He's back.
Yep.
Thought he was dead. Oh man.
Man, I'm having
sucks.
I'm having a tough time between Seager and Justin Turner today.
What, third base?
Yeah, because, I mean, both these pitchers, right, if you look at it, neither of the guys fit the reverse split. So Edison Volquez, better versus righties, and Dylan Covey, better versus lefties. So,
but they're both bad versus both.
Yeah, so I don't know which one I want. I have a Segura.
Yeah.
I have a Segura Nelson Cruz 2-man right now.
Yeah, I have that too, and I have Seager with it. So I have that 3-man stack, and then I'm trying to figure out the 2-man that I like the best. I think I'm going to go Stanton and Ozuna.
All right, so I know it's only a 5-game slate, but if you can't pick 3 pitchers, give me your top 2. If you have 3, then go ahead. But player pool obviously can be small.
Okay. Yeah, I think if I had to pick 3 pitchers today, it's between Hector Velasquez. I don't think you could pick both Caviglio and Velasquez, so
Why not?
I think I'm going to pick. Again, I mean, I feel like you're deciding. I'm trying to decide which one is going to be better than the other one. You know, I think they both, to me, you take your pick on which one fits your lineup building. And to me, I think they both kind of profile the same. I think I picked Gaviglio over Hector Velasquez because I heard some rumblings about, them limiting him in a sense. And Boston has a pretty good bullpen. They don't need to run him 7 innings if they have a big lead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I would pick Gaviglio over him. And then I like Montgomery and Stroman. But then you have the whole thing with the weather. So I think Montgomery could be a sneaky play today just because of the weather concern if nothing ends up coming from it.
See, I think that the 3 best pitchers are going to be Gaviglio, Velasquez, and Montgomery. I'm not chancing it with Stroman. And if he's chalk, there's even more reason to fade him. I'm not on this game's pitchers at all. I'm not on Covey. I'm not on Sonny Gray. I'm not on Danny Duffy versus the Yankees. So that literally, I've eliminated all but 3 pitchers. So
now, I mean, of all these pitchers that we don't necessarily like, Edison Volquez, Sonny Gray, Julio Teheran, Danny Duffy, Ryu, like all the people we didn't mention, who do you think has the best chance of proving us wrong?
You know what? I think proving us wrong, I'm going to say Ryu for the K upside.
I agree with you. I think so too, man. And
if there is increased pressure on him to kind of, perform, that's where I would say
He also has an extra. He actually been giving a couple extra days rest.
Yeah.
He does have 2 starts in cores on his record. And I mean, hard contact fly ball percentage isn't terrible. And other than Ozuna and Stanton, he's really not got much to deal with.
That's what I'm saying.
Although
I would say
I've played that card before.
And those 2 can burn you.
They can single-handedly. So
yeah,
I agree with that sentiment.
I just think that the K upside is there. Volquez has similar. I mean, they actually have the exact same K percentage this year, but the Dodgers lineup is much more potent than.
Yeah, you can talk about money line win percentage too. I think that helps.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. If I wouldn't mind throwing Ryu in a GPP, but he's not my favorite pitcher. He doesn't make my top 3 guys, but it's kind of where I go. What about your favorite stacks? Stacks. Obviously, I'm on Dodgers. I'm on Seattle, right? So Dodgers, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Bellinger, Grandal. You can throw Peterson in that mix. That's kind of where I go. 4 of those 5 or 3, however you want to do it. The Seattle stack is Segura. You can make a case for Gamble if you want to fit him there. Segura, Seager, and Cruz. Maybe Motter as well, especially with that dual eligibility. That's huge on DraftKings. And then a Yankee stack, which we talked about. This lineup is confirmed now, so 2 through 4. Sanchez, Holiday, Castro, Judge.
Yeah, pretty much there with you. I think Seager, Segura, Cruz, and like you said, throw Gamble in there. That's my favorite stack of the day. I'm going to fade the chalk with the Dodgers, not because of any other reason, but because I'm only playing tournaments today, and that's how I like to play. But I like to pick the guy that I think is going to have the most ownership so I can keep up with it, and I think that'll be Grandal and or Bellinger. So I'm going to stick with Grandal. I like the call of pivoting to Smoke over Bellinger at first base. Now, as far as the other stack that I like, it's a little bit tougher. I mentioned the 2-man between in Miami with Stanton and Ozuna. Other than that, man, I don't know that I want to stack against Danny Duffy. I think it could work out because, again, if you don't see much of Duffy and then we see maybe some Chris Young out of the bullpen or something, like some long relief, I could see a Yankee stack as well. I would stick to Castro, Didi, and Judge.
Yeah.
for that. Hicks too. Hicks is in play.
I
think the Hicks DD 2-man is definitely in play.
Okay. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Anthony Ant Gordon. You guys know him on our NASCAR show. Proud father as of yesterday. So congrats, Ant, on the newborn.
Ryan Gordon. Welcome to the Phenom family, man.
Ryan Gordon, yep. So shout out there. Hope the wife is doing okay.
Absolutely.
Jay, and I'm not entirely sure what their plan is for the NASCAR video this week. Ant might not be on it, so just watch out for that. Might have a fill-in with Alex, so peep that.
Yep, some big things coming with NASCAR too. It's exciting stuff. You guys got to keep up with them. Even if you're not watching NASCAR, I guarantee you'll become a fan. It's a lot of fun. So
they're hilarious.
Yeah, give it a shot if you haven't yet.
Jose asks, any concern for postponement? I don't know how big the postpone factor is. I see it more as a delay threat, which is the reason I'm kind of off the pitchers. That's the only concern I have for the pitchers. There is warm temps in KC. It's almost 80 degrees, so that is nice. That's okay hitting conditions. The wind isn't really a huge factor, 9 miles per hour in, so that doesn't scare me off.
Yeah, just keep your eyes open. Keep it up close to lock. What you guys think, following the weather. Definitely always something you should be doing,
Yeah, so.
But I looked at the radar prior to coming on the show, and it didn't look too concerning, like we said, as far as a postpone, maybe more of a delay concern.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, if you would like to join the Phenom further, thank you. First off, thank you for watching the show on YouTube, obviously. But if you would like to get these sheets with all the stats, obviously, on there, join the Slack group where we're always chopping it up, and join the best community out there for DFS. We will welcome you with open arms. That link is down below. You get a 7-day free trial as always, so there is no risk involved. Cancel before that 7 days is up, and no charge, no harm, no foul. But every reason to try it. And look forward to at least me, Theo, and Jeremy tonight. We'll be breaking down these sheets using today's slate, explaining how everything works. Mike will possibly be here, but that is up in the air. So at the very least, there will be a show with us 3, possibly Mike making 4.
Yep. Definitely going to try to make that. I'm going to race on home, but we'll see what happens. Either way, man, I think this is going to be an interesting 5-game slate. I'm excited to watch this Toronto game. We didn't talk anything about Joey Bats, but I think, throw him in there in the player pool, man. Maybe him and Justin Smoke could be interesting too, man, especially with everything that happened.
I have that too, man. Well, I'm debating.
I have it.
I'm debating between Ozuna and Stanton or Stanton and Joey Bats. I don't know which one I want yet.
Ooh. So, and you already have Smoke?
I have Smoke, yep.
Yep, I think we're on that both.
You know what? Let me ask you this before you're off.
Yeah. What's up?
Who's your favorite second baseman? I think that's a position of need today.
Yeah, I was debating that as well. It's interesting you can play Taylor Motter at second base, so I had him a little bit. Starlin Castro is someone I looked at. If you wanted to go Castro and Judge, they bat next to each other in the order. Castro quietly having an amazing year, so I like Castro today. He's definitely the highest price option on the slate. So if you wanted to spend down today, I know we talked up Gaviglio, but you got to look at what Yomer Sanchez is doing, man. Batting in the 2-hole for the White Sox, he for cheap has been quietly putting up some numbers. Switch hitter, he's batting. He's got an OPS almost 900. He's got double-digit DraftKings points in each of the last 4 games. Just a cheap guy that I definitely considered, but because I'm playing Gaviglio, didn't go there.
Fair. All right. Well, thank you again, guys. Have a wonderful and profitable Thursday. I'll see you guys again tonight. Make sure to tune in for that. And if you don't see Mike, then you'll see him tomorrow during the day.
Yes, sir.
All right, so have fun, guys. We'll see you in Slack. Any last-minute questions? We got 2 hours, but 2.5 hours. And then, obviously, as lineups come in, we'll update those and get you guys on your way to be profitable. So have a wonderful day.